What's up, witches? Who's here, yo? Who's here? Oh, it's late, but I made it. I made it. I'm gonna post like a tiny little clip of my ritual on Instagram when I'm done, right before I go to bed. That'll be like the last thing I do. Oh no. No. You did? Oh no. I didn't even see. Um No, my bad for being late, y'all. My bad, my bad, my bad. Oh my God. Oh, you just emailed me too. No, you didn't miss it. I'm here. What's up? What's up? What's up? I made it. I had the ritual and I don't even know who won. I don't care. I got what I needed. So hopefully anybody who was actually paying attention to the game for the sake of the game also got what they needed. But yeah, I got what I needed. Did you guys get your life with Ursher? Yes, talk, share. Please do. Please do. Share, talk. Um yeah, it was a fantastic ritual. It was everything that I needed. I got my whole life. First of all, can we talk about how our whole lives, for those of you who are like my age, I'm going to be 38 this year, but like, how amazing is it that Usher literally could only perform like 2 seconds of every song because this man has given us so many hits. Oh, this thing is too tight. So many hits that he literally could barely like perform a second of each one before he had to cut to the next one. And apparently I heard that his show was 2 minutes longer than like what they normally allow for, which is like shocking to me. But even with the extra 2 minutes, he still could only give us like 5 seconds of every song cuz that man has been giving us hits from the jump. I don't know about you guys, but he's like one of my original crushes. Original crushes. You make me wanna I will always remember watching. I remember the first time I saw that video. I was sitting on the floor in my auntie's bedroom when she lived in New York, literally down the street in the building next door to the shop. And I was like sitting on her floor because she had cable before we did. And I don't know if it was MTV or BET or whatever it was, but I remember the first time I saw the You Make Me Wanna video, and I was like, I'm in love. Because he was like 14 at the time, you know? So that was like an actual attainable age for me. Because I was probably like, I don't know, 8 or something like that. So that was like, he wasn't like a grown man, he was a child. I was like, that could be my boyfriend. Like, I have a chance. I thought I really had a chance. So he was like one of my first crushes ever. And I have always just like thought he was so fly. And then I know he had that little bump in the road post Chili, and maybe there was some, a herpes situation here or there, or something like that that I heard about, or what have you. So, we would have to like maybe go get that checked out before we could hook up or whatever. But, if everything is in the clear, like, it would go down because he is just so talented, so fine. Yes, nice. Okay, you're doing post-work bath. Very nice. I I was almost thinking about making a bath for myself, but I think I thought my ritual was gonna have a different energy than it did. And it was very introductory. It was very introductory. So I was expecting there to be like a more heavy energy given the nature of the spirit that I was reaching out to and like what I expected and everything like that. But this was more of like, it was really more of like a divination session because I spent some of the time building up the energy using the halftime show, right? So I had my computer propped up. I had to get YouTube TV to be able to watch it because I don't have cable. So somebody remind me to cancel that shit tomorrow because it's like $70 or something. And I think I accidentally signed up for it twice. So I think I now have two. And I was like, oh crap. But so I propped up the computer over on the windowsill in front of the altar so I could watch it while I was at the altar. And I had it queued up. I actually did really good on timing. I had my monthly beef pho. It's my time of the month. And I've gotten into this little tradition where whenever it's my time of the month, I get myself I'm vegan for the most part. I eat vegan. And then yes, it's mad ghetto. I was like, "What?" I signed up and then couldn't log in, so then I signed up again and I was like, "Oh no. Now I have 2 free trials. I'm not paying for 2 YouTube TV memberships." So I'm going to cancel that shit tomorrow. But I got my pho, which is my time of the month ritual now to like rebuild my iron reserves and stuff like that. So I got my pho, which I was so happy about because I tried to get it yesterday and the freaking place was closed, which was like, the hell is that all about? What's up? What's up? You guys are tuning in from YouTube. Coven Witches, you guys can come into the StreamYard room. You guys have access to the StreamYard link, which is in the Coven feed. So technically, I shouldn't even be putting your comments up on the screen because it's for Coven people, but I happen to know that you guys are Coven people. So I know that. But yeah, it should be the StreamYard feed that you guys use. I'm going to get more strict with that. That's my own fault because I'm not very strict with it. I really shouldn't have it be public on YouTube right now. I should really make people wait for the replay and have it just be Coven people even able to see it in live time. But I'll get better at that. I always forget to like set up those restrictions and stuff. But just so you know, Coven Witches, if you're like, oh no, I missed it, you might not have missed it. It might be because I only went live for the thing. The link goes to the sex magic info. Does it? Is it the wrong link? Wait, let me see. But yeah, so I had my pho, got in the shower, got myself all ready. I managed to clean off my altar, which was like, oh my goodness, praise the goddess because whoo, let me tell you, my altar was raggedy. Raggedy. I have not properly cleaned it in a while. Let me see, which link is this? Oh, you sure right. Hold on, it's the wrong one. It's the wrong one. I was going so fast today because I was like, I got to get out of the shop so that I can do this. Let me get the right link. Bam, technology. Okay, boom. All right, it should be correct now. So yeah, so I was like rushing through everything. So I didn't even like clean up all of my stuff. Hey Nisi, what's up? How you doing? I was just telling everybody that I'm going to be a lot more on top of it with like using the proper links and all of that good stuff. So if you tried to go to the StreamYard link from inside of the Coven feed, my bad. I had the wrong one up because I was in such a rush today. June came to the shop and we were talking. And when I realized like that I really needed more time than I thought to prepare for my ritual, I was like, oh snap, I need to close up early and get my butt home, but I wanted to make sure that I sent out my email to the newsletter with like the ritual details, and then post for you guys and stuff, and like set up this live and all of that. So I was like just rushing through all that stuff. So I put the wrong link in all of that, but I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better with that, and make sure that like, because I want my coven witches to know that they're, special and exclusive, and other people who are not in the coven will still get to enjoy these moments, but they will have to do so later. So you were rushing, but managed. Yeah, listen, sometimes a partial ritual, honestly, is better than nothing. It really is. It's better than nothing. There's this Japanese principle called kaizen, which is like the principle of taking small steps to make a big change in your life. So, if incorporating your magic and your rituals and your practice into your schedule is something that you're still working on, it's okay to get like halfway there. It's okay to do an abbreviated version of the ritual you wanted to do, or maybe not even do the ritual. Maybe you just set up that day. You think you're going to do the ritual, but you end up actually just shopping for the stuff you need, or making the recipe that you need, or getting your altar ready, and then you have to like take a break and rest, or go do something else and then come back to it. That's okay. It's okay that it didn't all happen in one go the way you had imagined. The next time around you'll be more prepared, you'll be more ready, and yeah, you'll be good. Okay, yay, yeah, you're in the stream room, yay. Okay, so this is what it's gonna look like, guys. Because I can see the difference between who's in the StreamYard room and who's on YouTube. And so I'm going to be getting better about only having StreamYard people's comments go um up on the screen. Hey, you just tried it with no success, Leslyn? Yeah, maybe June. Yeah, maybe just refresh, because it's there now. Takara's in. What's up, Takara? What's up? We're about to talk about our halftime rituals. So it seems like most people were able to do some type of a ritual, which is really, really good. I felt really blessed when I was told about how useful the energy of the halftime show is for your own personal use. And when I learned that, I was like, this is money. Like, this is like, I think this is, oh yeah, maybe you tried too fast. Try now. This is money. Like, this is golden. Like, this is ripe energy for whatever shift you are trying to do in the world. I took a moment to direct some of the energy that I was feeling towards Gaza. Okay. Um, that felt really right and really important. Um, yeah. So that was kind of like a powerful moment in my ritual for just like collective healing. But then I will be honest, and beyond that, it was very much like for things in my life. And I do feel like the things that I'm calling in my life will allow me to contribute to the greater good and contribute to the collective. But yeah, it was important that I took a moment for that. So I don't know if anybody did any rituals for Gaza, if you guys used your energy for that. Shout out to you if you did. Yay, Nisi's in the room. Hey. Mona Mermaid. Okay, so some people are in YouTube, some people are in StreamYard. Okay, I'm trying to be better about my own organization. And I can see everybody's comments, and everybody's comments are in the chat replay on YouTube, but I'm only going to be throwing the StreamYard comments up on the screen. is what I'm going to do, to be fair to my coven witches. But I know that you guys are there, so hang out too. Don't go anywhere. But going forward, I'm going to be much better about having the YouTube version of my lives be aired after, so not simultaneous. That way I don't even have to worry about it. It'll just be StreamYard. It'll just be Coven Witches to begin with, okay? But yeah, hang around. It's okay if you're not a Coven Witch, because I'm airing this one publicly. So stick around. We're talking about rituals. We're talking about siphoning energy from the Super Bowl halftime show. We're talking about how fine Usher still is. Yes. Okay. Gorgeous. Yeah, that man is delicious. Am I the only Usher hottie up in here? How does the room feel about Usher? Are you guys also do you also think he's fine? Really? I just got off the phone with my sister, and my niece is also still up because they were all watching the game. Um, Shout out to my niece, by the way. My niece Hayden has taken over the internet because I don't know if you guys saw the post I put up of her telling me that she wanted my altar. Um, but that officially has the most likes of any post I've ever made in my life. It is creeping towards 10,000 likes. And it's been watched like 70,000 times and shared like 400 times. Oh, Takara, yes, I totally understand. I called my sister and I was like, "So did you see my baby daddy perform? Did you see the halftime show?" Because he is my imaginary baby daddy too. He is. Leslin loves some Usher. Yes. Leslin, I saw that you enrolled in the Magic Intensive. Good job getting in during the late registration. Yes. I was like, I was contemplating. I think when two people asked me, I was like, listen, I don't know what to tell you guys. I got to get ready for the next session. But then when the third person asked, I was like, okay, I'm going to open up a late registration for everybody because third time's the charm. Third time's the charms. Yes. Yes, I would unwrap that baby. Yes, we're proud of Leslin. I'm excited for that. Nuri emailed you about your request to swap out that book too. We got you. That's no problem. No problem. It's going to be great. First class is on Wednesday. I'm so excited because the first semester, I didn't do this class the first semester. This is a new class. This is basically just going to be a welcome class, and I'm going to do it like web conference style so that you guys can be on camera. I was like, I think that would be cool for the first class so everybody can actually introduce themselves and say hi so you can meet the other better witches that are going through the program with you. And then our classes after that will be like this, where you'll be in the chat, but you won't have to worry about being on camera. So you can be in your pajamas, you can be relaxed, you can be resting, ready for class. But I felt like it would be cool for the first class for everybody to actually be able to like see each other and meet each other. And we're going to go over the syllabus for the semester, which you can download now. It's available in the class player, so you know exactly what dates we have class. We have a mid-semester break towards the end in June, so definitely make note of that. And we are going to talk about like the technicals of how to use the class player in case anybody is new to Thinkific, so you know how to access your lessons. How to take your quizzes, how to submit your assignments, and basically just go over all the administrative stuff um, first. And then we will get into the actual heart of the class on the 28th, right? I think it's the 28th. I know, I know. You know what though? Aside from, well, no, I guess, well, you and Nuri already know each other. And then, yeah, we didn't get to meet Tabitha and Monica. So, yeah, so this is new. I know, I know. Every semester I'm going to learn and, learn more and do something different. So that was something that I learned from the first semester, that like meeting each other would be a good idea at the start. So I'm learning, I'm growing. Oh, wow. Spirit woke you up and was like, hey, excuse me. Excuse me. Did you forget? Did you forget to do something? Did you forget? They got you. Well, I'm glad that they did because you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a dope semester. It was really cool the first time around, and now there's even more of us. So I think it's going to be awesome. Tell me about your rituals for those of you who did have rituals this evening. Of course, no need to share anything that is too private, too personal. If you have anything that you don't want to share on video, because this is going to be on my YouTube, then if you're a Coven Witch, you can share it in the feed if you feel more comfortable with it there. Okay, but if you feel comfortable sharing, what were your rituals about and how was the experience of using the energy of the halftime show? Do you feel like it made a difference in your ritual? Do you feel like you felt that energy? I'll tell you guys what I felt while you type in the chat. So the interesting feeling for me, I felt like I had the game on while I was getting ready and while I was cleaning my altar and getting myself ready. And I felt like the game, which I wasn't paying too much attention to, but it felt very boring, honestly. Like it felt very quiet. It felt like the energy was really low. And I was a little bit concerned about that because I was like, damn, like, where's all that hyped up energy that like I'm looking forward to utilizing? And then right before the halftime happened, somebody scored a touchdown. And when that happened, all that cheering kicked up and the energy kicked up. And I was like, okay, yes, I feel that. Yes, that's what I need. That's what I need. I was like, we needed a touchdown before this halftime show. So we had like more energy in the room. And then when the show actually started, I felt like that very first intro of him being in the all white was very, very poignant for me because of the ritual that I was doing, which involves angels of a certain kind. So, him being in all white, draped like that, and then descending stairs like a falling angel, I was like, the symbolism. Okay. So that was giving me life. Then all of the different like clips of the songs, it was very interesting because it felt very like nostalgic to me. It felt very nostalgic. I felt like my inner child was really being awakened in a lot of ways. And like, I don't know if primal's the word for it, but maybe, yeah, maybe like a more primal part of myself was being awakened just because it was kind of like mentally I was going on a journey of like all these different stages of my life. I'm really glad that it was Usher, not just because he's my baby daddy, but because there was enough material to go far back enough in my life where I literally was a child, you know? Um, so that was really activating to me and I really enjoyed that. And then I don't know if you guys noticed the shape of the stage and how it was like a circle and a line and a bigger circle and a line and a smaller circle, which reminded me very, very much of like the seals of Solomon that you will find in like the Goetia and stuff like that. And so that felt very perfect for me. So, like, I was getting all of these little symbols and signs that were related to the ritual that I was doing. So that was really like validating and exciting for me. Um, Yeah, I like that. Then when her came out in her like all leather outfit and red guitar, that was another sign for me because that was giving like big Lilith energy. And that was related to the ritual that I was doing too. So yeah, there were just all these signs and symbols. So then after the show ended, I turned off my computer because now it was time to work because I had let myself dance. I don't know if did anybody get emotional? How did you guys feel? It was fire in my body. Yes. Okay. I am a fire sign too. I was also working with the element of fire for this ritual. When he got to the let it burn and they had the flames all around him, that was probably the best moment of the show for me and what I was doing. I was like singing at the top of my lungs at that point. That was a real I literally could feel that fire. I was like, "Let it burn." Like, it felt really, really good. When he was in the blue with Lil Jon and Ludacris, that outfit was fire too. It looked heavy, it looked hot. But, okay, so the blue was resonating with you. Okay, yeah, the Let It Burn was like the white opening and the Let It Burn moment was it. Also, was his shirt off by the Let It Burn part? Because that might have been part of also, my excitement. I knew he was gonna take that shirt off, baby. I knew that. I knew that. I knew we was gonna get that. I knew he was gonna start with it on, but we was not gonna end with it on. I knew that much. Mhm. Yes, yes. I knew he was going to give and it gave. I knew he was going to give and he gave. Yes, he did. He gave us what we came for. Mhm. Yes, yes he did. You picked up on the Lilith vibes with hers outfit? Yeah. When she came out, I was like, "Ooh, okay, big lady demon vibes. I see you, girl." I was like, yes, interesting choice. Red guitar, black and white leather outfit. I see you. Oh, yes, it gave. I knew the shirt was coming off. That man is allergic to shirts. Okay. He has a voracious allergy to shirts. Yes. I knew that one wasn't going to stay on for too long. And he did not let us down. Mm-mm. No, he didn't. And I love that that man, for all the dancing and working out that he does, has the most regular ass body, and I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, because usually it's the beefcakes that want to take their shirt off all the time. Not Usher. He is a little regular ass dude, and he gives us shirtless all the time. No shame in his game. He said, "You're going to take this bird chest and you're going to love it." And I love every bit of it. I sure do. I love every bit of it. I love every bit of it. Hey, Linda. Welcome. Yeah, no problem. No problem. We had some technical difficulties because I had the wrong link in there at first. So, no worries. Um, we're gonna all get it together. We're gonna all get it together. Okay, we're all figuring this out. 2024 is new stuff, new things to learn. No, but facts. But facts. He's got a regular ass body. And he just does not care, and neither do I, it turns out. Neither do I. He just gives us just baby boy chest all the time, and I'm here for it. He's like, "I am 40 something years old, and you are going to take every inch of this teenage boy body." And I'm like, "Yes, give it to me." Give it. And I was not disappointed at all. Loved every bit of it. Let me stop. He doesn't have a boy body, but it's just like it's like a regular guy body. You know what I mean? He's not like super buff or anything like that, but still loves to come up out them shirts. And I approve. Yes, I do. I approve. It was giving. So then after, let me see, any other highlights? Those are the big ones for me. The white outfit, the ring of fire, let it burn, the shirtless moment, which I think has less to do with spirituality and was really more just like a moment for me. The shape of the stage, which was giving like Seals of Solomon, also kind of like Libra shape a little bit, but really I was seeing like sigil kind of thing, like the dot, circle dot line, sigils of the seals. And then when that was over, I know the internet is going to roast Alysha for that first note. That had nothing to do with like my ritual, so I wasn't really paying that much attention to their performance. Um, I mean, who doesn't love Alicia? Come on now, classic. You know what I'm saying? But she definitely came out the gate crazy with that first note. She was not prepared for that one. I think that one took us all by surprise, including her. Everyone, I think we all were like, but she got it back. She got it back. She got it back together. But I think that was unplanned. You know what I'm saying? Hmm. Right? Isn't it? Isn't it? I just love how it's like it's relatable, it's approachable. You know what I'm saying? It's not some I'm in the gym 40 hours a week beefcake type of nonsense. It's just a regular, just good looking man that eats well, and exercises, drinks the right amount of water. You know what I'm saying? It's giving. It really is. The internet's already, have they already? Ugh, they don't waste no time. I'm sure they were tweeting away before the show was even over. I will climb that tree anytime. I'll climb that tree anytime. Listen, he's the one that's going to be doing the climbing because I don't think he's that tall. I think he's kind of like a short guy. That note was terrible. That note was 100% terrible. I didn't even notice the piano. Honestly, like literally at that moment of it, I was like paying attention to my altar because that's when I was like starting to light candles and stuff. And I was like, let me not light myself on fire. So I was like paying attention to what I was doing. And also when she hit that note, I was kind of like, ooh, I'm gonna come back. Hold up, I'm gonna come back. Yeah, that note was absolutely terrible. Poor thing. But see, the thing is it's not even that big of a deal with somebody like her because like we know she can sing. Okay, we know she can sing. Like that's, you know what I mean? So you can have a bad day, you can have a bad moment. Anybody can have a bad moment. There's no shame in having a bad moment. You know what I mean? So it's fine. She'll be fine. Life will go on. We're gonna still love. We're gonna still keep on loving Alicia. You know what I'm saying? She came out the gate with "I keep on falling." That's the first thing we ever heard from her. The first thing we ever heard from her. After that, it's just icing on the cake. She laid the foundation with that note, boy. She said hello when she gave us that note. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. She had a bad moment. It's okay. She didn't do a little, she forgot to do that before she started. She just came in cold. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, so those were the takeaway moments for me that were really impactful to my ritual. You know what I mean? I love the whole show, of course, but those were the moments that were like hitting for my ritual. So I'm dancing, I'm siphoning, I'm getting up my energy, I'm holding my hands out to the screen. I don't know if you guys read the ritual instructions that I sent out to the newsletter and also posted in the coven. But I had my hand, especially my left hand, out to the screen, allowing myself to really feel the energy of the show, of the music, of the vibes, of the singing in the background, people singing along, the cheering. I think at one point he sang a song that was like for his mom or whatever, and you could really hear the crowd singing along. So I had my hands out, really feeling that energy, letting it come in. I was in here dancing at my altar, singing, doing my thing, really feeling it. And then as soon as it was over, turned the computer off, turned the live off and turned on the music that I had queued up for my ritual. I don't know if you guys play music while you work your magic, but I always do. I always like, if I don't have something already that's like a go-to, then I'll hop on YouTube and search for something real quick that's relevant. But I had something planned, so I had it queued up, turned off the game because I was not interested in that. Just wanted to get that halftime energy for my ritual. It powered me through my cleaning. I was ready. Candles were lit, incense was burning, offerings are being presented, my energy's in a good space. I'm feeling really like high vibe. I'm feeling really nostalgic. I'm feeling like I saw all of these little signs and symbols in the show that kind of gave me even more confirmation that the ritual I was about to do is the right one to do. And like all of that, everything was in alignment. So I cued on my music, and then my ritual began. And my ritual began really kind of quietly because it was just like meditation for like the first like 10, 15 minutes. And then my sister called and like interrupted my shit. And so I like pick up and I was like, "Hi, I'm in the middle of a ritual right now." And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Call me back. Call me back." I'm like, "Okay." Cause you know, she knows what it is. So, I was like, "No, it's fine. It's fine. But I'll call you back." She's like, "Okay. Okay." So I get off the phone. I'm like, "All right, got to get back into my mindset." So I sit back down, get back into my mindset. That only takes a few minutes. So I'm like, okay, good. Because when my sister calls, sometimes I worry, like I'm nervous that it's going to be like bad news, something's going on with my family, something's happening or whatever. And luckily it wasn't that. So I was like, okay, I'm good. So it wasn't too hard to get back like into the vibe. Yes. You were doing that too? Okay. All right, fire sister. I filmed this ritual. I wanted to record it because this was a different type of ritual than I usually do. And I wanted to record it. So I actually recorded the whole thing. And at the end in particular, well, during the ritual, I kept putting my pendulum into one of my candle flames, which I've never done before. But, crystal is pretty heat safe. So I knew I could do that. I kept putting my crystal into the flame. And you want to know a really cool thing? Above a flame is actually the hottest part of it. Like the part above the flame is hotter than the fire itself. That's why you can like pinch out a fire flame, but you can't put your hand on top of it. It is so much hotter right above it. And that vortex of energy, I've never really thought about. When I held my pendulum right over the candle flame, the pendulum immediately began to circle around the flame. So that energy of heat, even though I can't see it, is very clearly there because it was pushing the pendulum around the flame and not letting the pendulum go into the flame. I had to actually like move it into the flame, which was cool because magic is science. So it was cool to see the science of like where the energy above a flame really is. And then at the end, for whatever reason, I found myself for like a good 5 minutes, just like manipulating the fire. I was like moving one of the flames with my energy. And then at one point, I just had my hand over the fire right before the end, like almost kind of testing to see how long I could hold it there. It was pretty fun. Just having like a fire moment. So, yes, fire sister. You were feeling that too. Yes, whole playlist. I have whole playlists for certain like types of rituals. Like I have money playlists. I have like I have a banishing playlist. I have a like a deep relaxation playlist that's like all theta waves. So like when I need to do like really deep meditative stuff, I want to make a few more too. Hi, Nat. I see you. Welcome. Yeah, the screams were also very impactful, especially um, whenever that mama song or whatever. I was surprised because I actually didn't recognize that song, but people were really singing along. And that was a powerful moment for me, realizing like how many people are in this stadium right now, all singing along. Um, and just connecting to the fact that I knew that so many people in the world were watching this one moment. Like, I'm probably going to do a ritual during the halftime show every year because you could just feel it. You could feel that energy, and you could feel like I felt like I was not alone. I think is the best way to describe it. I felt like I was not alone. I felt like there were people watching me, like I was in the stadium. Like I felt like I was not alone in the ritual, which was cool. But yeah, so after my sister called and slightly interrupted my meditation, I went back into meditation, and um, then I began reading my prayers. And I'm working with a book called The Crossed Keys, which is actually a compilation of two grimoires that were originally written in French and that there was no translation for. And so this guy who was actually incarcerated at the time had a lot of time on his hands and decided to actually translate these grimoires into English and put them together. Michael Secchitelli, I think is how you say it. And this is one of those random books. I don't even know who published it. It came into the shop as a donation, and I never used to connect with grimoires, and now I love a grimoire. I love a grimoire. Even though the works in grimoires are usually really like convoluted, they use a lot of flowery language, they reference ingredients and stuff that you like can't easily get your hands on and all of that stuff. I don't think that you need to follow the steps of a grimoire exactly. I think they serve as really great inspiration, and they're also really good for the academic witch, because that's what I am, a scholarly witch. They're really good for scholarly witches because all the new books that you guys read, all of the magic in them for the most part, are based on the magic from ancient grimoires. They're just really simplified, modernized versions of those ancient works. Because, ain't nobody got time to be finding, like, I don't know, a sprig of horehound that was grown under the moon underneath a poplar tree or whatever. So modern works have simplified and modernized the works that we see in ancient grimoires. So, as a scholarly witch, as a witch that likes to ask themselves the question of why, how did we get here, what is this based on? Grimoires are really cool because you can see where the magic that we work now came from. And so, I love a grimoire. So, this book isn't ancient. This book was written in like the early 2000s, but it's a translation of two older grimoires. So, I read my prayers from there, which was really cool. Very different because these, grimoires, because they're old, there's a lot of like religious language in it. So this one is all like by the power of Christ and the Holy Spirit and blah, 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 blah. And these are things that I'm not as used to saying. Even though I do work with the Bible quite a bit in my spells, I don't really do a lot of praying from that perspective, if that makes sense. I will do a lot of reading of Bible passages, but when I speak prayers, I usually speak them from the heart, or I use like pagan prayers or non-denominational type prayers. But this time I was like, the work that I'm doing, there are very clear instructions for how to do this, and I'm not going to deviate from the instructions just yet. Let me follow the instructions. So I read the prayers as they are, and I worked up such an intense energy by the end of those prayers. Like, I really felt my inner spirit come alive and really take command of what I was conjuring and what I was speaking to in those prayers. It was very powerful. Um, and then after the prayers of summoning in the energy, it was time for me to start talking to the spirit that I had summoned. And that was the cool part. Eye of Newt from Kiki's House on a Tuesday, very right. Like the stuff in grimoires is just it's too much. So it's absolutely necessary that we modify it for today. You know what I'm saying? But it is cool to see where it came from. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yes, Takara, you're just beginning, my dear. Also, hello, Better Witch. Leslin, meet Takara. Takara, meet Leslin. You guys will officially meet on Wednesday. Yes. Okay. Yes, absolutely. I've heard that. And yes, absolutely, that is true. But not only is the Book of Psalms a book of spells, really the entire Bible is a grimoire. That would be the best way to look at the Bible. It is a grimoire. It is filled with ritual instructions, herbal information, astrological information, crystal information, and spells, all up and down. All up and down. The Psalms are a psalm is a word for prayer, so they're like prayer songs basically. And the only difference between like the spells of the psalms and the spells anywhere else in the Bible is that those psalms were specifically written to be set to music. So they were written by David, I think, and they were their songs. So way back when he wrote them, they would have been prayed to music. So you can think of them as like the gospels, you know. So that's the only difference between the Psalms and the other books of the Bible. But it spells all up and down, and I use the Psalms quite a bit. Yeah, because they're organized by intention. That's what makes them really wonderful. Whereas other books of the Bible have, our stories and other information or whatever. These are, because they're songs, the same way we would have like a love song, a song about revolution, a song about, losing a parent, whatever. The Psalms are the same way. So because they are songs, they have themes that are clear and they don't have like a whole story around them. So they get right to the point. It's like, oh God, do this for me. Oh God, thank you for this. Oh God, do this do this to my enemies. Cover me with this. Help me with that. So they have very clear themes. So that just makes them even easier than other parts of the Bible to work with for specific intentions because they're like written that way. But the Bible is full of stuff. Some of my favorite stuff comes out of Numbers, the book of Numbers. Some good stuff in there, especially for like evil eye work and stuff in there. And I really love Genesis actually for bringing things into creation. So people read Genesis 2 a lot if you're going to like baptize something to come alive, where God basically explains how he brings man into being. A mist rose up from the ground. There was a sprinkle from this river and that river and that river and that river, and breath was blown into his body and then became man. If you want to baptize like a figure candle in the name of somebody and you want to actually really turn that candle from a wax figure into that being, reading that passage from Genesis is really fantastic because you are essentially being God over that wax figure and doing what God did with dirt. Um, and you're doing it with wax and you are going through the same motions with the same faith and with the same intention and breathing life into that figure. So anytime I want to baptize something in the name of somebody, I read Genesis 2. And I don't just read it, I follow the instructions. So I breathe when it says breathe, I sprinkle when it says sprinkle. I mold where it says mold. And yeah, because they wrote out the instructions. And so this is how God did it. So it's like, okay, well, I'm God. So I'll go ahead and take that. Yes, thank you very much. I'll follow those instructions. Works every time. Psalm 23 is a nice catch-all. Psalm 23 is definitely a nice catch-all. It is not a surprise to me that that psalm is one that so many people can recite by heart. I mean, it's relied on heavily for a lot of different things. Very, very helpful, for sure. And then everybody loves Psalms 91 for protection. A lot of the ones I like. I like Psalm 31, 51, and 91 for various things. And they tell you right there what it's about. So it's very helpful. Yeah. Yeah, because you're basically like, it's like, why recreate the wheel? These sacred texts told us how it was done. They're just grimoires. They're just instruction books. They're just guidebooks on how to get things done. You know what I mean? If you want a woman that is cheating on her husband to not be able to have children, you can do that. There's a passage in the Bible that explains that. It explains that a certain dirt from a certain area was taken and mixed with water and given to the priest and told to be given as a potion to the woman. And if she did not bear children, then she was being unfaithful. So if you read the Bible not from a place of like superstition, if you read it from a place that's a lot more of like an instruction manual, you get a lot more out of it rather than just reading it for the sake of like all the do nots, all the do nots, all the do nots. Read it for the do's. There is so much that's done in it, and how it's done is explained. But we tend to dismiss the how it's done because it's like, oh, okay, this is like old, like mumbo jumbo. But instead of looking at it that way, consider that it's actually just instructions and try to follow the instructions. June uses Psalms to charge items and candles. Oh, I like that. I like that. Kovisha. Yeah. Psalm 91 is very helpful. I know people often put it by their doorway, like a plaque of it by the doorway, so that as people come or go from your home that is there. There's an old, like a hoodoo spell that, you know how people, there's like a tradition of putting a broom upside down in your doorway corner. Um, a little trick for getting people to leave your house quickly if they're overstaying their welcome is to turn the broom the right way, put the bristles down on the floor, and pray Psalm 91, and they'll leave. I haven't gotten a chance to try that one yet because I really don't be having people in my house. That's another way. That's another way to keep people energy out of your house is just don't let them in the first place. So I really just don't be having people over. But yeah, if I were, I would give that one a try. So keep an upside down broom behind your door, your front door in the corner. And if you ever have unwanted guests or people who are overstaying their welcome, turn it with the bristle side down and pray Psalm 91. See if they leave quickly and then report back on your success. Let us know what plays out. Yes. Yeah, the protection measures were out of control during COVID. Oh my God. That was probably the time where I think my husband, soon to be ex, really shifted his view of what I do, because up until then he really did not care, but he also didn't bother to like benefit from it. It was just like, okay, that's Alysha's thing. She's a witch. She does her things, like whatever. I respect her and I let her do her thing, but I don't really get involved. But COVID was when he started to get involved, because whenever we would go outside and we would come back in, he would do like his sciency cleaning. He would like spray antibacterial on our shoes. He would put plastic bags around our shopping cart wheels. We were like washing off our groceries, like all the packaging, wiping them down with like Lysol wipes and stuff. He would do all of that stuff. And then I was in charge of the spiritual stuff. So I would go and I would get rosemary and sage and I would burn it immediately when we would come in the house. I would give us a complete smoke cleanse, him top to bottom. Then he would do me top to bottom. I had my Florida water. So after he would clean off our shoes and stuff with like antibacterial, I would come up behind him and follow it with Florida water and stuff like that. And then I would make us steam pots. So I would take a big pot of water, I would add eucalyptus and mint, and I would make a steam pot, and we would each take a turn with a towel sitting over the steam pot, breathe that in and get anything that was like in our lungs out. And there was one day when I forget what happened. I went to the bathroom or something. I got like distracted or something like that. And I turn around and this man's got the abalone shell and he's lighting the sage. And he was like, we didn't do the sage thing. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, oh shoot, yeah, yeah, yeah. So after that he started like participating more, which I thought was interesting. Nothing like the fear of death to get somebody in the cauldron. Yes. Ah, very wise. I like that it's in sigil form too, because you'll need everybody in your business. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, at the shop we have wards. We have an upside down broom, various other things at the doorway. Um, my doorway, June and I were talking about it. My doorway has a portal that needs to be tended to. So I got to address that. But I have a pentagram with a big obsidian stone in the middle. It's a pentagram wreath that I made. It's my first wreath that I ever made. I like collected twigs from the nearby park while they were young and soft in the spring, and I bent them into a wreath and bound them all together with rope, and then I painted it and I put dried flowers on it, and I used a glue gun to put a big obsidian stone in the middle, and I still have it. I made that when I first moved into the apartment like 11, 12 years ago. It's still hanging there. That's my protective talisman. And then various things I put on the door. In the wintertime, I do cinnamon broom. Right now, there's hawthorn berries, like a little bundle of hawthorn berries. So it kind of depends. But yeah, okay, what else in my ritual? All right, so after I raised energy and then did my prayers, which was also like more raising energy, but now this time the prayers were specific to calling in the spirit that I wanted to communicate with in this ritual. And because this is a spirit that I have been loosely in touch with, in the sense that like I know that they're there, but that I haven't made direct contact with yet. I didn't know what to expect, and I think I was expecting something like way more intense, but it was actually quite nice. Um, so after I gave my offerings, read my prayers, and did all of the things, then it was time for me to go into the heart of the ritual, which was really mostly a divination. It was really mostly a conversation because I wanted to introduce myself to that spirit and tell it what I wanted and just like make that first contact. So I used a pendulum board that I had consecrated for this purpose and their sigil and my amethyst pendulum. And it was pretty awesome. It was very straightforward and amazing because I asked if they were there with me. Immediate yes, very strong. The responses, and like when I use a pendulum, usually the movements are fairly subtle. Like I can read them because I'm used to what they're saying. But when my pendulum moves, it's not crazy. These were wild movements, like very intense, like someone was hitting them type intense swinging. So, very clear yes when I asked if it was with me. And then I asked if it understood my requests. Very clear yes. Several other questions that were more specific and related to what I was asking. And then my last question was, do you need any more instructions or any more offerings or anything else from me in order to get started on this relationship that we're going to have and bringing me what I've asked for? Very clear no. It was like, no. And then as soon as I was like, okay, thank you, it was like that feeling that I had at the start of the show that there were a bunch of people in the room and like I was being watched, and immediately that dissipated. And then precisely at that moment, the music that I had queued up on YouTube ended. And that was it. And usually, when you watch YouTube, when one video ends, it will just automatically go into the next one. That didn't happen. It just stopped. It just stopped. It was silence. And all of a sudden, I just felt like everything leave the room. And I looked up and I was very aware that I was now by myself. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought I was going to need to like release, no. It was like, heard you, got it, got the instructions. I don't need anything else. See you later. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's it. And then I sat for a little while, just kind of taking it all in. Um, that's what I decided to play around with the candles, do some energy manipulating, and then that was it. Then I went and called my sister and kikied for a while she watched the rest of the game. And that was it. Treat obsidian like a mirror, charge on a lunar event, and blessed to repel. A whole cycle pump for the crib. Oh, cool. Mm. You know what? Following up from our conversation earlier, June, I think now I understand what is up with that spot. Because that, not the area I was originally thinking of, but the one next to it, which is also on the other side of the door. That's where my pentagram wreath is. And it's been broken for a while. Like one of the prongs of the pentagram is just slightly broken. So the pentagram is just slightly incomplete. And I have been meaning to fix that for the longest time. And I have not. That's the cracked window. That's the cracked window. Yeah, got it. Okay. I need to fix that. I need to fix that because you're absolutely right. That's a crack. That's the cracked window we were talking about. Because I was thinking it was the spot where that painting was removed from. But I was like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. No, it's the pentagram by the door. It's just the slightest bit, one of the prongs opened up, and I have yet to put it back together, and it's been like that for a while. So it's an incomplete protective talisman. It's just slightly cracked. Yeah, that's the cracked window. That's exactly right. That is the cracked window. I think I need to fix that, and I think I also need to move it to the door itself. Yeah. Yeah, you know how people put like upside down horseshoes right above the doorway? I think that needs to be fixed, first of all. And it needs to go right above that doorway. And right above the doorway is exactly where it would be when I'm like on the couch because we talked about it seeing me when I'm on the couch. I definitely need to fix it and maybe move it. But 100% I need to fix it. That's the cracked window. Yeah. And I should recharge that obsidian. It's been probably 10 years that it's been hanging there. Mhm. Yeah, I should put it behind the door. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. So, ritual was a success. If nothing else, I am just happy that this ritual gave me a reason to clean my freaking altar because oh my god, it feels so good. I literally just cleaned the whole thing down with lavender Florida water. Took everything off, cleaned it all down, and then put it back and wiped everything down. So now it just smells intensely of lavender Florida water in here, which is like one of my favorites. So it smells so good. And then I was burning. I'm so blessed because David Shi, who is the author of Spirit Voices, who is a shaman of Mongolian and Chinese and Korean descent, um, was at the shop yesterday for a book signing, and he gifted me with a beautiful prayer cloth, but also with a huge bundle of juniper that he smuggled from Mongolia. So I was burning Mongolian juniper. Um, so it smells like lavender and just the tiniest hint of juniper wood in here right now. I'm gonna sleep like a baby. I can't wait to see like what happens in my dream state. That's gonna be really interesting. Or not. I might just knock out and not remember anything. I was telling June today, my most powerful, the dreams that I know that are spiritually significant are the ones that I don't remember. I just wake up with the distinct sensation that I went somewhere and did something, but I don't know what. When I do remember my dreams, they tend to be the very superficial dreams that you have like at the end of your sleep, that are often just like nonsense. Those are the ones I tend to remember. But it'll be interesting if I remember any of my dreams tonight. But oh, I'm just so glad for my altar to be clean for the first time in a while. Yes, that is very good news. If nothing else, that made the ritual a success. So, yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Yes. Oh my gosh, if you have a recurring dream, yes, journal that. You know what you might be interested in, Takara? Because people come into the shop all the time talking about dreams and asking for like dream interpretation and stuff like that. And that's something that I don't do like formally per se. I wouldn't say that I have like some type of like propensity for dream interpretation. I have a pretty solid knowledge of like general symbology and the meanings of spiritual meanings of certain symbols. And then of course as a tarot reader, I'm able to like um, receive messages about like what your dream might mean and things of that nature. But it's not necessarily something that I would say like, oh, like that's my thing. We just got in the shop the dream, what are they called? The dream oracle cards, but they're specifically for dream interpretation. They're a set of oracle cards with a guidebook that is specifically for dream interpretation. And it's like 58 or something cards with all with like a bunch of different potential dream symbols. So things that people often see in dreams and what they mean and stuff like that. But I was like, I need to have some more dream stuff in here because people come in asking a lot about their dreams, but they don't necessarily want or need a reading. They just want someone to interpret the dream. And we don't have like a dream interpreter specifically like around. Um, so yeah, so I was like, I needed some stuff. So I got some books. We have some books in, but I was like, let me get a deck too. So I got the Dream Oracle deck. So check that out. It should be on the website. Yeah, maybe that's what the juniper is for. I'm definitely going to give you more than a sprig. I'm going to give you a good bunch of chunks of it because for my purposes of burning it, I'm very conservative with gifts like that. So I only need a little. Um, so I'm probably gonna give you a good chunk of it to let you make a perfume or cologne out of it. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, maybe I'll burn a little bit more before I go to bed. Yeah, next time you stop by, check it out. You might like it. I'm going to get some more dream stuff in too, but I wanted to start with an oracle deck because I feel like those are like easier for people to use, but not as like, not that a book would be boring per se, but you might not work with it as much as a deck. So I was like, let me get these oracle decks because they come with a guidebook. Speaking of requests that people come to us for in the shop, I'm very excited about the Find a Witch directory. We have several really cool people that have signed up for it, and a few more that have filled out their applications, and we just need to call their references and get them up onto the site, which will probably happen next week when Alexis is in the shop and can help me with that. But y'all want to be nosy? I'm going to read to you an email that I got because just to give you an idea of the types of things that come our way, because I don't think you guys would believe. Like this is not even the weirdest. Like I have had people call the shop or email us and ask me to turn them into werewolves, into vampires. Everybody and their mama thinks that they're cursed. So we get tons of messages about people who swear up and down that they're cursed. And can we come do something about it? There's something in their house. There's something in their bodies, there's blah, blah, blah. Um, this is the email that I got today, right after I left the shop. Y'all ready? I won't say their name, though I'm pretty sure this is a made up name. But anyway, so the subject of the email is a breakup spell. Can you please cast a breakup spell on Austin Bugby and Janae because she's a transgender? Can you please cast a return to me spell on Austin Bugby and me? Can you please cast a terrible spell? I don't even know what that is. A terrible spell on Kara New so that she doesn't try to get back together with Austin Bugby. And then that's it. And then they sign their name. First of all, hi, how are you? And where is my thank you at the end? You just gonna email me a list of requests? What is this? So yeah, so I was like, we need a directory because we need witches that we can refer people to. Though that being said, I will not be referring this person to any of my witches. We are going to do our best with the directory to vet everybody on the directory, meaning we are asking the people on the directory if they haven't already worked at the shop, if they're already a shop witch or a shop reader, we know what they can do, and we know that they move with authenticity and integrity. But for newbies, people that we don't necessarily work with that want to be on the directory, they can, but the application requires them to provide us with 3 references that we can call, and we will be calling their references. To verify them, they have to give us their website, they have to give us their Instagram, they have to give us their like personal information. So we have to be able, they have to tell us what their business structure is. Are they a sole proprietor? Do they have legal documentation of their business? Do they have a tax ID number and like a legal way to collect money? All of that stuff is on the application. So we are going to be vetting those people. But guess what? I'm also vetting our customers. Now, it's a directory, which means that people can go and just contact the witch directly. So they don't have to come through the shop. But if somebody does come to the shop and they're like, oh, do you have somebody who does this? And they're on some nonsense, I'm not referring them to the witches on the directory. Like, I'm not doing that to them. So even if we have somebody on the directory who does spell work, and we either do or we definitely will, um, I would never respond to this person and be like, oh, check the directory. We have a list of witches you could reach out to. No, mm-mm, no. I want to protect my customers from practitioners that are not authentic and have integrity. And I want to protect the witches on the directory from customers that are mentally ill and or just on some bullshit. So this person, judging by their name and the initial feeling that I got is that they are young. So I think we're just talking to a teenager or something like that, someone very young. So my response is going to be thank you for reaching out. We are a metaphysical bookstore and workshare space. We sell books and candles, and we reserve spaces to practitioners. So if you need any of those things, feel free to check out bronxwitch.com. Bye. But yeah, we get a lot of craziness. Yes, Takara, you are very right about that, which is why if you have not ever had a conversation with my page, my Instagram, BronxWitch's Instagram, if you've never had a conversation with the BronxWitch Instagram, you will probably find that if you try to DM me, you will not be able to. That is because about a year into the BronxWitch page, I realized I needed to close my DMs because motherfuckers out here are crazy. And my DMs, they're still in there, like they're still archived in there. One day I'm gonna go through and make like a compilation video or something just for like shits and giggles. But like I'm talking about hundreds. I have hundreds of archived DMs from that first year and a half of ridiculous DM requests. Ridiculous requests. People asking me to cast all kinds of ridiculous spells, asking me ridiculous Googleable questions, writing me pages upon pages upon pages of paragraphs of their life stories. Just ridiculous. Asking me basically for services, free services. asking me to diagnose this and that, asking me to read this and that. And when I first started the page, trying to be nice, I'm like, okay, oh, good night, Leslyn. Have a good day at work tomorrow. See you soon. See you Wednesday night. Um, and people just asking me ridiculous things, and I would try to respond to all these people and be like, listen, I don't do that, or this is my booking site, and they would never go to the booking site, never, never. They'd be like, oh, I need a reading for this or that, da, da, da. And I'd be like, okay, I don't do that in the DMs. I have a website, I have a proper way of booking with me. Here's the link. Never would. And then after a while, I just said, forget this. I don't care. When I first started, I was like, oh, I don't want to offend people. I sell products. I offer my services for money. So I need to be nice to everybody, and I need to be accommodating, and I don't want to turn off my potential customers or stuff. And after about a year and a half, I was like, fuck this noise. I'm just turning off my DMs. Just turning off my DMs. Yes, that happens a lot. It happens way, way, way too much. Way too much. I can't tell you how many people. So on my page, on the BronxWitch page, that's what I would get a lot of. Aside from people asking me to do like services for free, were people asking very straightforward, Googleable questions. And as a teacher, I am not in the business of making people feel dumb, right? There's no stupid questions, only stupid answers, right? But there does become a point where it's not that your question is stupid. Um, I'm never going to be too good for your question or too advanced for your question. So that's not the issue. The issue is that you could have found the answer to that question way faster than waiting for me to get back to you. And the time it took you to type this question of what's the color pink good for? What is the herb peppermint used for? And the time that it took you to type that answer, that question out to me in the DMs, person that you don't know, and wait for me to get back to you, because by the way, you're always going to wait for me to get back to you. It's not personal, just got a lot of messages every day to go through. I literally spend the first hour of my workday every day just going through all of my messages, emails, YouTube comments, Instagram comments, all of it. It takes me a while to get back to people. And for my own mental health, I do not rush to get back to people. I do it during a certain time of the day is when I respond to messages and comments and all that stuff. And then I move on to the other things I have to do in a day, which means that if you DM me at noon, after I'm done checking my messages to ask me what rosemary is good for, you are not going to get an answer to that until maybe, if I bother to respond to you right away, 10 a.m. the next day. So it's not that your question is dumb. It's that if you really needed the answer, you picked the least effective, least time considerate way of getting the answer. That's all. Thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, I try to meet people where they are, you know what I'm saying? Because like when you are first starting something, I am sympathetic to not knowing that information. That my judgment of you is not that you don't know. I didn't know at some point. Um, but when I decided that I wanted to know, I wasn't going to like write the question on a pigeon and then send it, to another state and wait for it to come back. I was going to use the most effective, most efficient, quickest way for me to get the answer. Okay. So if I had a question about herbs, I was going to go hop on Google. If I felt like I needed more, I was going to go get a book on herbs. But to go message a complete stranger who is most likely going to take a while to get back to me, if they even bother to answer at all, just does not seem like the most effective way to get your question answered. You know, it's weird that people would do that. So yeah, I have hundreds of archived messages because all the people who are not able to get through by DM, the message still comes through. I just don't have to see it and I don't have to bother with it, but it still goes somewhere. So they're all in there. I have messages from 158 weeks ago. They're all still in the archive. So yeah, maybe one day I'll make like a compilation reel. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, was this the best way to get your question answered, do you think? I feel like no. Oh, I just saw your comment from earlier, June. I'm not cursed. Yeah. Jaha Mikaharik answers that question, I think, very well in either the introduction or like the first chapter of his book, Spiritual Cleansing, which I think is one of the most effective, short, but useful little books on how to cleanse yourself spiritually with baths and smudges and things like that. So definitely grab that book. We have them in the shop, but you don't have to get them from us. But Jaha Mikaharik says in that book that most people are not afflicted with a curse from an external source. Most people are afflicted with the curse of self-importance. That you think yourself so important that someone would bother to exert the energy, time, and expense required to curse you. When most likely, that person that stopped talking to you or that you got into an argument with immediately forgot about who the hell you were 5 minutes after. But the curse that you are afflicted with is one of self-importance, that you really think that that person went and took the time and the money and the energy to curse you, when most likely they are literally not thinking about you at all. So when I read that, I was like, burn, ouch, Jaha. You ain't have to put it like that. But I think it's an excellent point because I think far more people are cursed with the curse of self-importance than are actually cursed by some angry witch somewhere. Glass candle in water for the evil eye. You really helped me with some courage work that I did with the idea that you had of putting the figure candle into the revocation glass and then putting that in water. That really worked for. Did you tell me to put it in water? That part I might have did myself, but the putting the figure candle in the revocation glass, very smart. That was really helpful. I needed to get courage to ask for my divorce, and I was having a hard time finding it myself. Figure candle inside the revocation glass, which I then put into the same bath preparation that I gave to myself. Got the job done. Got the job done. That was great. Yep. Yep. That's a great way of putting it, Takara. It's all about energy all the time. And where you are putting your attention and where you are directing it is that's literally what it is. You are feeding energy into a bubble. And so if you've got things that are going negatively in your life and you are focusing in on that and feeding attention to it and giving it a name and giving it a explanation and breathing life into it, it's only going to continue to grow and continue to affect you. So, as Mika Harik says, the curse of self-importance in many ways is even more destructive than somebody's curse. Yes, 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 yes. Takara just dropped a gem. Everyone's feeling it. Everyone's picking up what Takara put down. I plan on doing to myself too. Bath, baptism, smoke, personal effect. Yep, yep, yep. Treat the figure candle like yourself. That worked wonderfully for me. Worked wonderfully for me. And then I did the same thing when I had to get my husband to move out of the house. Since I couldn't give him a banishing bath because he would never let me do that, I just baptized a candle in his name and then I bathed that sucker. And now I live alone. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Got it done. Got it done. Figure candles are so fantastic. They really are. We're visual creatures as people. We need to see what we're doing. And we need to see it in front of our, own two eyes. And figure candles are the way to get it done. So fabulous. No different than any other candle. So if all you have is a chime or all you have is a votive, go for it. Not a problem. But if you can get a figure candle that represents what you're trying to do, the ability to see it, the principle of mentalism, which is the foundation of how spells work. If you can see it clearly in your mind's eye, you're giving your spell a very good, strong foundation to start from. So the figure candles really help with that. Okay. And you know what I'm saying? I had to. He was talking crazy. He was talking crazy. He was talking about putting me out, and my name is on the lease. I was like, huh, what? Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. We had to, yeah, we had to fix that. So I figure candle in the bath, a little black walnut bath, baby. And within days, we had moved that energy around. This man really told me I could put you out and tell you to kick rocks. And the apartment is in my name. Sir, what the fuck kind of nonsense are you talking about? I could make you kick rocks. I'm gonna kick these rocks. You don't live here no more now. Now you kicking rocks somewhere else in your tiny little apartment that's half the size of this one. Oh, sorry. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Yes, yes, yes. As time goes on, I can be more comfortable with talking about the stuff that like really transpired. I love my ex-husband. I always will. Okay. And I respect people in general. Okay. But there was some real F shit that man did to me along the way in our relationship and some real wild stuff said to me that was not loving, not fair, not respectful at all. And that was definitely one of them. To look at me and tell me I could put you out and make you kick rocks when the apartment is in my name is just wild crazy. Like, in what world how does that work? Like, what court of law is that happening in? What are you saying? So, yeah, once I realized that that's the time that he was on and that's how he was feeling towards me, I realized that my safety, my housing was in danger, that I was on the verge of being homeless because this man was mad that I wanted a divorce. And No, if there's anything that being a witch does, is it allows you to take care of yourself. And there ain't no way in the world that I have the relationship I have with all these spirits, with all these herbal allies, with these spirits of the land, with these spirits of the place, and I'm going to let this man make me homeless because he's mad that I won't stay married to him. When the reason I'm not staying married to you is because you didn't treat me right for the last 15 years? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We could not have that. We could not have that. We could not have that. So we had to get the black walnut out and light a candle on a bitch. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we had to take all those precautions. Yeah, yeah. We had to take all those precautions. So, and that was tricky for me. You know what I'm saying? Because you love somebody, and to do any type of like baneful work or left-handed work against somebody that you love, that's not an easy decision whatsoever. So I was very heavily with my spirit guides doing multiple readings on this question, and it took me a long time before I got to that point. I tried other alternatives. Okay, I tried to influence him in other ways. I tried to be diplomatic. I tried to have conversation with him, and all he could do was respond with anger. And I said, Well, you know what? If you're gonna make it me versus you, if you're gonna make it that situation, baby, it's gonna be me every time. If one of us has to win, it's gonna be me every time. I'm not gonna let you do that to me. You know. Um, So yeah, so we had to do that anyway. Nothing a little black walnut can't take care of. Nothing a little black walnut can't take care of. So we had to do that. But shout out to the figure candles we have from Mystical Misties, because they're my favorite. They burn so well. They're so nice and sturdy. You do not have to worry about the legs breaking, which is what happens with cheap Botanica candles always. The little legs break at the post at the bottom. That never happens with Misty's candles. They burn really beautifully. And now she has these figure candles that are actually petition candles that are loadable. So the little shoulder and head comes off, and you can stuff things inside and put the top back on. Super amazing. And then I think June said something about skull candles. Yep. Yep. You can use them as I guess they would be considered like a fetish if you're not going to light them, or an effigy. They'd be an effigy, I guess. If you don't light them and you just use them as a representation of the person, then I guess it would be an effigy. Um, we have some random visitors from YouTube. Hi, random visitors from YouTube. Y'all deal with Ouija boards? Personally, not so much. Mm-mm. Grusha says hello. Hello, Grusha. Oh my goodness, that's right. Yes, much love to your husband. I'm praying for you guys and that is progressing smoothly. Let's put up a prayer for Linda's husband being released from the hospital. Yes. Get your rest, babe, so that you can safely transport your husband back. Absolutely. Oh yeah, I absolutely learned that because he is 8 years older than I am, and not in the emotional maturity department, that is for sure. And yeah, you know what? I will say though, I think generally speaking, yes, people don't always reveal what they are. But I think one of the reasons why I have such a soft spot towards him and why I was so hesitant to do any type of baneful magic to move things in my direction is because, if I can be perfectly honest, he did show me who he was from the beginning. I just wasn't wise enough to realize that I deserved better, that I did not deserve that, and that who he was and where he was and what he was all about would ultimately be harmful to me. I didn't realize that, but he was showing me right from day one. And I think women, we do that the most. We do that the most. Men tell us right from day one what it is, who they are, and what they really feel about us, and we just insist on seeing something else. And when I met him, I was 19, and he was 26. And to me, he was an adult. And so everything he said was wiser than me. So it made me doubt everything I thought about myself. I thought about everything. And 37-year-old me, if I had met that guy, it would have been the exact same person, but I would have immediately been able to be like, yeah, this doesn't work for me. But I just couldn't see that then. Yes, very much projecting his insecurities onto me, to the point where I went from being a very cocky, confident, almost delusionally confident young lady to being someone who is very insecure and unsure of themselves. And that's a big motivation behind my OnlyFans. That's a big motivation behind my OnlyFans. Is not that, is breaking through those insecurities. Yeah, very true. Yeah. Which reminds me, I meant to yell at y'all. I'm not going to do it tonight because we have to wrap it up. It's 1 o'clock. It's officially my bedtime. But I meant to yell at y'all. I'll do this at another live, not next week Sunday because we have Witches of Color support group next week Sunday, but maybe the Sunday after that. Yeah, I took issue with some of the responses that I got when I told you guys that I had an OnlyFans, because if y'all don't want to see my titties, that's fine. Okay? It's no offense taken. It's totally fine. But if you do want to see them and you're telling yourself not to go to my OnlyFans because I'm some type of like spiritual guru, or you quote unquote like can't see me that way or something like that, I take issue with that. And I'll get into that at another time, about why it is so important that you not idolize me or put me on some type of a pedestal, or treat me like something that is not just a regular, degular, schmegular ass chick from the Bronx who just happens to know a little bit more about witchcraft than you do. Um, and why it's so important that you not treat anybody on the internet like that, because that is how y'all fall sucker to cults and get all your money taken by people who are unscrupulous, because you put them on pedestals rather than treating them like human beings. So if you are looking at this video and you're like, man, I think she probably has some nice titties, you should go look at them on my OnlyFans because I show them for free. And I'm working on my self-esteem, and you should go make me feel beautiful. Um, and if your reason for not is because I am like some divine being because I meditate and shit, cut that out. Cut that out. I had somebody the other day in my comments say some dumb shit about my post about my niece, and I told them to mind their motherfucking business like that. And somebody else in the comments defending me, thinking that they were saying the right thing, defending me. First, they clapped back at that person and they were like, "What are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah." But then they responded to me and they were like, "Oh, sis, don't let this person take you out of your character." And I had to respond to them and remind them that respectfully, you don't know me from a can of paint. you don't know what my character is. And just for the record, me telling somebody to mind their motherfucking business is smack dab in the middle of my character. That's not a weird thing for me. Because you see me talking about meditation, because you see me talking about spirituality, because you see me generally being nice and accommodating and giving compassion and grace and kindness to people that I interact with on this internet, don't think you know who the fuck I am. You don't know me. You do not know me. I am from the Bronx. I will curse you the fuck out all day. And that is not me stepping out of my character at all. In fact, stepping out of my character is me holding my tongue and not saying things like that to people when they are violating. Um, so we got to stop doing that. We got to stop creating visions and personalities around strangers on the internet and thinking we know them and putting them into these boxes or putting them up on these pedestals of, these divine beings or something just because they know a little bit more about the craft than you, or, they went to Africa that one time or whatever. Like, we need to not do that. It's not helpful for you, and it's not helpful for the person that you're idolizing, because when they want to be themselves or be something that is not within that box, then they can't do that, or they have people acting like they're different, or they're not behaving the way that they're supposed to, or what have you. So Shanice said, what we do. Yes. Okay. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. It was just that, like, just like, go look at your titties in solidarity. I mean, you could. I mean, it's for free. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna eventually have enough followers that I stop giving them up for free. But it's not just my titties. I do tarot readings. So if you guys used to like the new moon and the full moon lives, I'm still doing that. I'm just doing them on OnlyFans now, and I'm wearing beautiful lingerie when I do it. And you might not even see titties. A lot of the times, no titties happens because we have to reach a certain tip amount for the titties to come out, and we don't always get there. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a little afraid of the titties, don't worry. That might not always be the case. But if you like the new moon and the full moon readings, you should check out the last live that I did, because I did it for Valentine's Day, and I called myself the Love Doctor, and I pulled cards for all of the zodiacs specifically to focus on how this new moon energy could be utilized to make your Valentine's Day everything you want it to be. And we focused on what was ending in each zodiac sign's life and what you needed to do, like to call in, or what you needed to engage in to make your Valentine's Day what you wanted. So, if you want a love reading for the new moon / Valentine's Day and watch me wear a lovely bit of red lingerie and my Veronica wig while I do it, that's over there. That's over there. But yeah, no, you guys don't have to go over there if you don't want to. But I was just saying that, like, the last time I mentioned it, there were a couple of people in the comments that were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't. You're my teacher. I can't see you that way." And I needed to sit with, like, why that bothered me, and then I was able to put my thoughts together about, like, why I think that's problematic, you know? So, anyway, thank you. I like the wig too. And she was my second choice. But once I put her on, I was like, oh, she's giving. It's giving. So, anywho, she's like a copper color. I was gonna get like a red wig because, I feel like red channels my like alter ego. But they were talking about $59.99 for a synthetic. I think not. Not that dusty synthetic was sitting on a mannequin for the last 6 months. I think not. And they wouldn't give me a deal on it. I was like, what if I take the mannequin one? They were like, oh no, we can't give you a discount on that. I was like, oh, I'm gonna handle up on this $29.99 jump over here. This little copper colored number. Yeah. So thank you. I'm glad you like it. She's got bangs, which I think is fierce. I think there's something fierce about bangs. So I did like that about her. So we shall see. But yeah, I'm loving it on OnlyFans. I'm not even gonna front. I joined like mid-December. I started my page. Child, I made $300 in December. I was only on there for like 2 weeks. I did like 2 lives. Yep. Now I got some man named Levi sending me personal requests, giving me $25 a pop. Listen, anyway, let me go. I'm having fun over there, is all I'm saying. And if you are the type of person that likes an OnlyFans type of situation, especially mine, which is very G rated, it's me reading tarot like in lingerie. I'm not doing nothing crazy. Especially if you're into something that's more like G rated and fun. Then don't not go. Like if you don't want to go, don't go. Like if you don't want to, that's fine. But like don't if you do want to go, don't stop yourself from going because I'm like your spiritual teacher or something like that. Like don't do that to me. I'm ready. I'm regular. I'm regular. Yes. Yeah, I was excited about that. I was like, oh, this is how we're living over here, OnlyFans. Okay, I'm not mad. Yeah. All right, y'all. Good night, Niecy. Thank you for hanging out. I am sending lots of love to all of your individual rituals tonight. We channeled some of the most powerful earthbound energy that happens all year long. It is literally a holiday. It is more holy than any other holiday in America. And we channeled that energy for some amazing things. So may everything that you use that energy to manifest pop off with this swiftness. As I will, so mote it be. All right. Yes, I'm going to burn that juniper right now and get into, well, I'm already in bed, but I'm going to turn out the lights. Good night, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Turn on your notifications so you know when that is and get into the coven so that you can be in the stream room when it's happening because I am going to get better about not airing these publicly on YouTube when they happen. So you don't want to miss it. All right, y'all. Good night. Yes. Oh my God. Yes, 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 yes. I'm going to cancel my YouTube TV as soon as I wake up in the morning. Girl, they are not going to get me for that $70. And they are definitely not going to get me twice. So I am going to. I'm going to set an alarm. Thank you for that reminder. Yes. Somebody check in with me. On Wednesday when we have class, check in with me and make sure that I cancel because I think it's a 7-day free trial. So if God forbid I forget tomorrow, I will have at least till the end of the week. So on Wednesday, check in with me, make sure I canceled that because baby, they're not gonna get me. They're not gonna get me. The money's not the question. I got it, but that's not the point. I don't need YouTube TV. I am YouTube TV. All right. Mwah. Have a great night, you guys. Blessed be. Bye.